Welcome back to my channel. Hi there people, I hope you're all well. Today's dish that I'm preparing is going to be chicken biryani. Now there's two ways you can make the biryani. You can make a chicken dum biryani. What dum means is on steam, so it cooks slowly over time on steam. And the other way to make chicken biryani is by cooking the chicken first and then boiling the rice, and then you basically mix you mix both items together. Now the ingredients that I will need to make this video would be these things here. So I will need 1 tablespoon of red chili powder, 1 tablespoon of salt, but I'm sure you can do it salt to taste. About 7-8 cloves, 5 black cardamoms, some cinnamon, a few bay leaves, and biryani masala, which consists of cumin seeds, black peppers. Secondly, I'll be using this Sindhi biryani because that's the biryani that I am going to make. Like I said, there's many different biryanis that you can make, but the one I like to make usually is Sindhi biryani. Usually I use this mix, which actually comes, it's a Laziza mix, and you've got 2 packs in there. I usually use 1.5 packs of this into my chicken marinade. Now the chicken, as you can see, that's the chicken there. I need to marinate that using yogurt. Now this is the yogurt I usually use. 1 tub of this yogurt should be enough for the marination, and the other tub that I will use to make a yogurt sauce to serve with the biryani. The rice needs to be washed a few times, and then it needs to be soaked for at least over an hour. So I'd probably soak it for an hour to 2 hours before I start using it. Now, followed by the ingredients, the total ingredients that we'll need is 4 lemons, 4 tomatoes. I will need some fresh garden mint. Onions, I will need at least 7. The onions need to be fried, but I will show you later on how I will do this. And also I would need a bunch of coriander. As well as this, for the marination of the chicken, we will need about 4 tablespoons of garlic puree and same amount of ginger puree. Now at a later stage I will show you how I've made these purees. It's very simple and it's very easy to do, and once you've made it you can refrigerate it for at least over a month, and it does not go off, and you can use it every time you make any dish. You can use it in them. Fairly easy process to do. I will show you that at another time. Back to the video again. What I'm doing now is I'm basically in the process of washing the rice at least a few times. I usually do it for about 5 times to get rid of all the excess that's in the rice itself. So that needs to be sort of like rinsed and washed a few times. So this is how I usually do it. I fill it up as much as I can, and then I'll basically just rinse out the excess water, as you can see as I'm doing here. So it just gets rinsed, and then I will follow the procedure again. So what I'll do is right, same process again. Need to rinse the excess. As you can see, the water's changed colour, so it's gone like chalky. You want to do this process until you spill the water and the water is clearer than what it is at the moment now. Usually it'll take about 4 to 5 times, and it should spill out clearly towards the end. Right, I'm going to soak the rice in water for at least a couple of hours. So I'll get on with the marination of the chicken now, show you step by step how I will be doing that. Right, first job is the tomatoes. I've got 4 tomatoes to chop up finally. I've sliced it this way. It's been sliced, and now I need to dice it as I'm doing right now. So that's 4 tomatoes diced. The tomatoes now have been diced. I've diced them, as you can see, in the plate here. Next stage will be from here. I need to dice the onion. First of all, I need to peel the onion and then I need to dice it. So that's the next process for the biryani. Right, so these the onions, sorry, don't need to be diced. They need to be sliced because I need to fry these onions for the decoration of the biryani. So you know, this needs to be diced. I'm doing this pretty slowly so you can see how I'm slicing the onions. Always be careful with the knives. Right, I've sliced all the onions that need frying. All these onions they need to be fried for the biryani. So what I usually do is every time I cook any onions, I like to wash them through adequately, as you can see what I'm doing here. So it gets all the rawness out of the onions, and I personally think that it gives you a better taste when you're actually eating the onions. So as you can see, I'm just rinsing them out at the moment, but usually what I tend to do is use like a pan and leave them soaked for a little while, and then I use them. Now I need to work on the chicken marination. These are the tomatoes, as you can see in the plate. What I need to do is I need to use a cloth, or you can do it by hand, so you don't necessarily need a cloth. But I find it makes it much more easier by using the cloth. As you can see, it's in there. I'm gonna get all the juice out of it, so I need to, as you can see, that's getting rid of the excess water that are in the tomatoes. Right, this is the chicken. It's ready for marination. I put in the garlic. So I've put in the ginger in there. Now I'm gonna add in the garlic puree. So that's in there as well. Followed by the tomatoes that I've rinsed and got all the juice out of, so they all go in there. And then the yogurt needs to be added in. Sorry. Right, out of 2 fresh lemons, I've converted them into juice, and I've put 1 fresh lime in there as well. That's the juice. I need to add that in for the flavour, to make it tangy. Right, it's time for using the This is the biryani masala that I bought. This is what I'm using in there. So the whole of one packet needs to be used on this. You get 2 packets in one box. Along with that, what I need to add in is the red chili powder, which is here, so that needs to be put in there as well. And the salt you can add to taste, your own preference, how you'd like it. Along with this, these dry masalas that I've got in the plate, I've got cumin seeds here, bay leaves, I've got cinnamon, cloves and black cardamom. All this is going to be used to boil the rice, so I will show you when I do that how I'm going to be doing that. But I will be putting a few of these masalas in the chicken marinade as well. So these are the dry biryani masalas that I've put in there. Just cumin seeds, cloves and a few black peppers with a few bay leaves in there as well, and a couple of black cardamoms that I've added in there. It's time now to fry the onions. As you can see, this is the fryer that I'm using, and just be careful as soon as you put the onions on, it might just come up as it's doing there. All you do is just stir it. As you can see, the onions now, they're getting fried, so I need to wait a little while. Once they're done, I'll show you the last result as how they would come out. See, the onions still, there's they need to be sort of like light brown in colour. In the marination, I've added in some green chilies, roughly around about 3 green chilies in there. I need to add in a little bit of fresh mint leaves. I've chopped it finely, as you can see. Along with that, I need to add in some coriander. It's basically about a couple of handfuls that I'm adding in there, just to give it the extra aroma and flavour. And once all this is being done, I now need to basically marinate it, so I mix it all together. Right, the marination now is ready. It's ready for mixing. As you can see, I'm mixing it at the moment. So you want to bring the chicken that's right at the bottom on top. So alternatively rotate the chicken as I'm doing here. Some people, they tend to add a little bit of colour in the marination. Orange or red or whatever they prefer, but usually in most cases orange. But the biryani mix masala that ready made that I bought, that's got colour into it. Once this is being done, it needs to be refrigerated for as long as you can. Overnight would be better for excellent flavour, but if that isn't possible, I usually just refrigerate it after the mix has been done for around about 2 hours. To 3 hours even. So basically with this one, I'm going to refrigerate it for around about a couple of hours, and then I'll come back to you on what the next step will be from there. I'm just slicing the lemon into slices for the garnishing of the biryani. I'll show you in a moment as to what I'm going to be using for the garnishing. I've got 1 fresh lime here as well. for flavour and colouring purposes. Right, this is what I'm gonna be using for garnishing. I'm gonna be using some limes, some lemons, fresh coriander, and fresh garden mint leaves, finely chopped, as you can see. For garnishing, I've already mentioned that we're going to be using what's in the plate on the right hand side: lemons, limes, coriander, and mint leaves. Secondly, we'll be needing fried onions. They've been done now, and this is the colour that we need in them, and this is kind of like the texture that we need for the garnish, as you can see. Right, the chicken marination is ready. I'm gonna put this into the fridge now and leave it for 2 to 3 hours. The rice has been soaked for about 2 to 3 hours, and now I'm in the process of boiling the water. And once the water is boiled, I shall put the rice in there. As you can see, in the pan there's loads of biryani masala. That's the masala that I saved for boiling the rice. Now what you need to do is you need to put 3 tablespoons of salt in this water, and then finally add in the rice and let the rice boil. You need to keep the rice, you need to boil it up to 80%, so 20% of the rice need to be cooked under steam. And that's 1 tablespoon. Second tablespoon, and finally the 3rd tablespoon. Right, the chicken marination is complete. It's been in marination for 3 to 3.5 hours. I've kept it in the fridge, but usually for best optimum results, it's best if you marinate it overnight. Is better. Now, what I forgot to mention earlier was that I needed to add some of these fried onions for the garnishing of the rice for the biryani, but some of them needed to be put into this mixture that I've got here, as I'm doing right now, and then that obviously needs to be mixed in well, and then I'll show you what the next step will be. Time now to add the rice for boiling. You need to add a little bit of, about a tablespoon of oil. Ready now for the next stage, which is to make the marination of the chicken. So first of all, I need to add some oil, and flame on full. Flame on full, and just waiting for the oil to start cooking a little bit. I've just used under half a cup of oil. I'm going to cook the marination of the chicken now, so I need to add this into the fry that I've got there. Go. Chicken has been added now. Got the fire on full flame. As you can see, the chicken started to bubble a little bit now. We need to cook the chicken on full flame for at least 15 minutes. As you can see, the rice has been boiled and it's ready. I'll just show you. Now, the rice is kind of like cooked 80%, so basically 10% of the rice will be cooked with the fry. So 10% of the rice is going to be cooked in here, I'll show you when that time will come. Sorry, I meant 20% will be cooked with the chicken. The chicken is more or less 90 minutes cooked. 10 minutes of the chicken would be cooked with the rice, because the rice still needs to be cooked for another further 20 minutes. Okay?
Yeah.
Right, I'm adding the rice into the biryani now, as you can see. Just to garnish the basmati biryani. So first of all, I'm going to be throwing a few mint leaves into it. And then a bit of coriander. A few limes. Some lemons. Then another layer of rice over it, as you can see. So that's another, some more rice over it. Some more garnishing. So lemons, some limes, and finally some coriander leaves. Right, now I'm going to be doing the final layer. Right, I'm also going to use a bit of the masala that I took out from the chicken, which I'm going to put on the top, as you can see, in different different places, to give it some extra boost and some more flavour. The final step is to add some ghee, some butter, or some margarine. I don't usually use ghee, so I'm going to use a little bit of butter. As you can see, I'm going to place it in different places in the biryani, and then eventually it will be stirred. Right, now that part of the biryani is complete. Now I'm going to put it on dum, which means I'm going to slow steam it for a further 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes I will give it a stir. Right, the biryani needs to be mixed, otherwise it'll just stick underneath, as I'm doing here, and then it needs to be cooked furtherly for a few more minutes. As you can see, I'm putting it in and I'm kind of like mixing it to the best of my knowledge without trying not to break the rest of the rice grains. Time to add some colour into the biryani. I'm using red colouring, as you can see. You don't want too much of this, you just want a few little spots in the biryani. That's all you will need. And other colour I'm going to use is orange, or should I say yellow. That's it. Good. Right, finally the biryani is ready. This is how I'm going to be serving it. Please like, share and subscribe my channel, and please leave any comments. Thank you very much. Take care.